Hello, everybody. First off, I want to apologize here for my voice. I am getting over this sickness of 3 weeks now. It's crazy. And I have really missed podcasting. So I had to get something out today for the New Year's Eve and this time. So just bear with the voice right now. Today, I'd like to talk a little bit about this liminal time, some of the neat things out there that you could take part in and kind of research a little bit, as well as give you an energy reading for going into 2023 and the type of energy you want to embrace and you might expect, just to get your mind right and your energy right going into this new year. So, with that said, how is everybody? I'd love to hear back in the comment section of the podcast or wherever you're finding this, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, in the Spotify area, Apple Music, any of that. So where you can comment back, I'd love to hear from you. Show ideas, any stories you have. And if you're a magical practitioner, or author in the magical and spiritual realm, I'd love to hear from you and maybe have you on for an interview. So please do contact me through any of the show notes, contacts, or any of my socials. So with that said, first I'd like to say that Laura Tempest Zakroff, many of you may be familiar with her. She had the Sigil Witchery book, I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's been a few years. I went to her live workshop here in Dunedin, Florida, at Enchanted Earth, and got to meet her and participate in a group sigil making workshop, and it was super cool. So if you ever catch her in her travels and the many festivals and events online and things, do take the time. She is a magical and artistic being, and very much an inspiration for my sigil work. I have been working with angelic sigils and Rosicrucian created type sigils, and that's more for another podcast. But I've been working with those for near 10 years now. And then I came upon a few years ago the workshop that she was going to hold live. And I thought, this is cool. And it got even cooler when I got there and learned about it. And she really puts the art into this. You know what I mean? The intuitive freedom to express your inner emotions, feelings, and to put that energy into a symbolic visual form that you can use together as a fantastic talisman for your magic, for a focal point, a conductor of your energy and a focuser, because that's really what these things are. The magic's not just in the symbol, it's in the creating the symbol, the entire process you go through, and the more energy in a good way that you put into it and time you take. I light candles and incense, and I get a notepad out and a good pen that I like, and I start writing out some things, and then I cross some things out and I kind of fine tune that. And once I get that raw data together, then many times I'll use her methodologies to put symbols to words and emotions and things, and then take some time to put the symbols together and craft this really cool sigil that embodies all the energy that you've been simmering in with the good music and incense and candles and things. It's a whole thing, but that is really where the magic's at. So I'm also right now, I have to my left is her newest visual alchemy book, which takes it a step further. And I really do, recommend these two books. Check them out. They're fun books. They're not a hard read. They really get your mind and creative mind working. And if you don't feel that you're a creative being, don't let that stop you. Get the books, give it a try, throw that ego mind away. I mean, we're not asking for Picasso here. We just want you to express, right? That's where the magic's at. No one's judging this. No one's putting, or gold winner star on your artistic representation. It's your own magic between you and the spirit world and the universe and the angels. So think about that. Yeah. So check those out. I hope to have links in my show notes as well. And, she's not promoting this at all. This is just a heartfelt recommendation because I really love working with that. And also, come January and February with my students at the studio, I like to go through with them the exercise of their new year, new manifestations, making a new sigil that represents them that they can use in the different magical ways that I've taught them. And this also goes for my Zoom and cross-country students as well. So with that said, also I wanted to tap on some books I'm reading now. Obviously, I love Kip's publishing with Robin's reviews. And I do have some videos on the social unboxings of the Yule book. There was a autumn solstice book. There's planners. One thing I'm super excited about starting tomorrow is a 365 tarot reading book. It's a workbook. It's a big book, and it takes you through pulling a tarot card, any card you pull, and journaling on it and learning about it. And there's a lot of additional material in there. But those of you that have come to me and asked, how can I learn to read tarot or oracle cards? I tell you what, you could use this for oracle cards as well. Absolutely 100%. Doesn't matter that it says tarot in the front. You pull the oracle card, you dive deep into the card, you maybe look up the book for the card, the meaning, and then actually just feel and look at the card and write what connection you have with it. And it's okay if it alters a bit from the book, right? That's not a problem. It's your divine connection with that card that makes it, give the message that it's going to give in the reading. It's just a tool for spirit to kind of talk to you. So either way, use the book for tarot or oracle. I'm super excited. I'm kind of starting tomorrow as my first 365 day, unless I get too excited, and I might start today, and that's fine too. But it is on sale. Again, Kip's publishing. There's links all over my websites and things like that. Robin puts a lot of time and energy into all of these Sabbath and solstice books, planners, journals. There's a crystal journal too. If you want to get a better relationship with your crystals, to take the time. And yes, this all involves, dare I say, journaling. Yes, it is the redheaded stepsister. They say that, but I have no problem with redheads. I think they're very fiery. In fact, my grandmother was one. It's the Irish lineage I have. But either way, journaling is a thing. You gotta do it. I didn't want to do it either. But when I started doing it, my magic grew. My connection with the angelic realm grew. It's a thing. It forces you to take the time to be in the space, because you can't rush through learning this stuff. It's not a quick certification book thing that you can do and then bam, wham, there you are. No, you develop and nurture and cultivate a relationship with the universe and the realms out there, and yourself. By the way, there's a lot of healing that has to take place for you to unlock new levels in your, gifts and your abilities and things. So with all that said, some fun books I recommend are, we all know I love Joe Dispenza and, the quantum realms and the quantum field. Anything that you can read on that has decent recommendations. Now, there's some funky books out there, but something like that, Becoming Supernatural, You Are the Placebo, those are two of his books that I recommend you checking out to really open your mind to new concepts. Throw some science in there too. And with that said, speaking of the scientific angle, the book The Field by Lynn McTaggart, that is kind of a breaking open of the quantum field and things like that, and has a lot of science. So it's not a spiritual how-to necessarily, but it does explain topics and talk about tying them to a scientific angle and things. So if you're interested in that a little bit on the different side of things, I like that because I work with so many different people, and sometimes relating scientific and spiritual topics together can really bridge a bond to allow them to embrace and let go of the ego mind, and to trust that these things are valid. The feelings, the visions, the sensations they get are valid. They're not, quote, the imagination only, end quote. Also, I'm a big fan of Robert Monroe and Bruce Moan. So Journeys Out of the Body is interesting too. That takes you on a whole different adventure of different, I'm going to say, dimensions. And as you read it, you'll understand. They word things differently in the Monroe system, but it has led me to a deeper connection with working with spirits that have transcended this realm and are either in a realm which they are kind of waiting to cross over, sometimes lost souls. It's a type of soul retrieval. Also, it deals with those crossing over and just the different realms and a new way to look at that that's not really represented in modern magical books. So it's kind of cool. I like it. Let's see here. Obviously, we all know that I'm an energy buff, geek, whatever you want to call it. Energy is everything to me, as it is to many other people, but it is my main focus and drive. Spiritual alchemy is what really drives my passion. So another book that's got a lot of science in there too is Hands of Light from Barbara Brennan. So many of you may have heard of the Brennan School of Healing. So that's a cool book with there. I have the audiobook and the regular book. Full disclosure, I bought the audiobook first, and there were so many diagrams and things I wanted to put together. I went ahead and bought the regular book too. So you can actually listen and then refer to the book. It'll probably go a little faster. That is kind of a very detailed book into almost dabbling into medical medium sort of aspects. It's a psychology, but ties into your energy system in the human body, but also ties in the psychic portion too, which not all books do. So that's another recommendation for you for the new year. I also want you to focus your attention on what it is now that you want to embody. You know, sometimes we write New Year's goals or resolutions. I do not do resolutions anymore. I find it a very heavy word, a very kind of negative energy sort of word. Not to saying it's a bad word for folks to use, but the energy does not align with the type of energy that I want to align with, if that makes sense. So another word that I use words, affirmations, manifestations, alignments, things like that. Those are much lighter words that are going to get you going. Also, there's a lot of psychological negative baggage tied to the word resolutions, New Year's resolutions. So we're kind of moving away from that and into more of how can I more align my energy with what it is I truly desire, right? And so it does take a little time for you to get down, write down, get into space and quiet time, maybe have some nice theta music playing, binaural stuff, focus music, and take a peek at what it is you truly desire. Now, don't worry about what potential problems can happen or blocks. Just imagine if you had infinite possibility and potential, infinite funds, infinite support around you, what is it that your heart desires for 2023? Write that down and then kind of unpack it a little bit into smaller steps of things that you can do to achieve this. Again, keep your mind and focus away from anything that's going to block that, or any overly pragmatic thinking that's basically your ego mind trying to talk you out of your potential, right? So we want to allow the universe to fulfill those things and help you fulfill those things. So don't put in your mind, ahead of time that I can't have that because, well, that's not realistic. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you about a pet peeve. That's not realistic. That word, that phrase right there is a pet peeve, because what is realistic is what you allow to be realistic. I'm going to say that again. What is realistic is what you allow to be realistic. Now let that sit for a minute. When you work with the quantum, the infinite field of energy, if you want to call it the quantum or something else, different cultures call it a different thing. It's basically a giant sea of energy potential out there, untapped energy that could be molded into a good, positive thing or a negative thing. Some people even refer to it or liken it to chaos energy. Chaos energy is not a negative thing in itself. It is naturally just a bundle of energy. Now, what you do when you take and kind of funnel and cultivate, kind of draw in and focus that energy, what you do with it then makes it positive or negative, right? This is just a big sea. Just think of a ginormous box of colored crayons, right? You're able to focus in on pick which colors you'd like to create and manifest this beautiful artwork that you have before you. So maybe think of it like that. That helps some folks. So take the time, and you may have heard this 376 different ways and times, but now is the time I'm calling you. If you're hearing this again, this is the universe working through me to get to you, to have you sit down and really do it this time. They're listening. If you're hearing this message now, it's intentional. The universe is trying to say, hey, tap, 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 tap. I'm talking to you. I want to hear what your heart desire is. So do this for yourself, man. Do it for yourself. The secondary aspect of this is I want you to feel it. The magic happens when you have both intention plus emotion together. If you align those, you are much more equipped to be able to align to the infinite and align to what does fill your heart. So when you create an intention, you write that down, you have your minds thinking through, hopefully your heart's involved as well. But then I want you to take a moment, put that intention in your mind, and close your eyes. Take both of your hands and put them over your heart chakra. Inhale deeply, then exhale deeply. Do that 2 more times. And think about how you would feel, or how you will feel, when you have what it is you're manifesting. How excited will you be? How filled with love will you be? How filled with joy or giddiness will you be? Light? Will you be walking around whistling in the house? Think of that. Embrace it. What does it feel like now? Just play pretend with me. Do that now. Take a minute. Okay, perfect. You have a little bit in there, a little emotion. You feel it? Now hold on to that. I want you to anchor to that emotion right now. Anchor that intention to that emotion. And each time you think about this in the coming month, I want you to take a second and feel that feeling inside of what it is when you achieve it. Call it back up, because now you've called it once, you know what it feels like. So I want you to put it in your pocket and call it up each time, whether you do this on 111s. Some people will do that as well. They'll kind of recite again what they're trying to manifest and things like that. There's so many different magical ways. Some people will write it down and light a candle each night or a tea light over it to kind of charge it up and say it in that moment as you're lighting the light, things like that. But when you say it, I want you now to take out of your pocket that feeling, right? And I want you to feel it. Okay, good. So that's your homework assignment, guys. We're going to tie your intentions to your emotions, put them together as a magical recipe to really get into alignment and attract what it is that you desire. Now, depending on what you're writing down, your desire may come from the universe in a multitude of ways. So it may not look like exactly what you thought it was going to look like, and that's totally okay. We're allowing the universe to fill it in however they can based upon your path and where your alignment is now. So if you'd like to tweak that, then you do that by adjusting where your energy is and adjusting things in your life to make it more cohesive. You know what I mean? It's a process. It's like an art project, this manifesting business. So that's just a little tidbit today about manifesting for your 2023, picking, 1 to 3 aspects. Keep it simple, that you want to bring into your life and really make a change on. And don't worry about the hows. The universe will fill that if you allow them to. I always say in the end of everything, for the highest and best of all involved. I ask this now, this or something greater, spirit or angels, for the highest and best of all involved. You can't really go wrong with those terms. You're asking for what you feel, but allowing this or something better, because they may have something much more grand coming your way. And if you only state a specific thing, they're not going to be able to, fully deliver that, what you could have had, because you've kind of blocked it off with your ego, mind, and your energy to this one specific thing. So you got to get specifics out of there. You want to go into the energy, what you want to feel like, how do these things, if you're asking for things, how do these things make you feel? And how you feel is what you actually want, not the thing. But that's something, again, for one of my, we can dig deeper together if you'd like a little help with this. If you schedule a soul coaching session and healing, we go through this stuff. We take it step by step so that you can learn how to do this in a much more effective way. So that is your homework, if you choose to accept it for your New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. I'm going to lose my voice here soon. So I better get to the 2023 energy reading. So let's get that started. So, what Spirit has to say for us. So this is a universal energy reading going into 2023. I do things kind of like this, and it's kind of like a few months energy, it's not the entire year, not this particular type of reading. So this is just the energy going into 2023, something to focus on, consider, employ into your life. So what Spirit has to say is they would like more meditation. They're calling to you now. This is a time to deepen your meditation practice. Traditionally, this time of year is a quiet time. This is the winter time, the introspective time, the time where, not here in Florida, but in many places, it's very cold. So you're staying inside, you're reading, you're spending your quiet time. So do spend some of that at least in deep meditation. They have more messages to give you, but you'll need to go into meditation to receive them. Meditation could be the single best thing that you do for your body, your mind, and your energy. It's healing, it's restorative, and it's enlightening. Next week, I hope to have another podcast on some of what I've been experiencing through this illness for the last 3 weeks. Prevented me from doing many other things, pretty much everything, but laying in bed or sitting down. And so I spent time meditating, and in my dreams as well, so much vivid psychic interaction. I mean, I don't know if it was the fever state I was in that was similar to a shamanic induced, when they take the various herbs and things and you get into a feverish state and get into this realm where your ego's just shut off, right? So I don't know. I'm still exploring if that was part of it. There was also some intentional meditations I have noise canceling earphones that go over the ear and really cancel out anything else going on. Really super helpful for those who have a little trouble meditating. I also worked with some yoga nidra meditations, as well as some Taoist meditations as well. So these led to very vivid journeys and things like that, which hopefully next week I'll get into a bit more. Point is meditation. Let's go back to the card. Meditation. I'm telling you guys, Spirit is asking you to do this. It has something for you. If you're hearing this podcast, Spirit wants to connect with you through meditation. So take the next month or two and really try to embrace a practice. If you've not done it before, try now. Now's a great time to try. If you're already a meditator, maybe take this a step deeper because they're asking for more. Again, if you have any questions with this, you can contact me. Maybe I can answer some questions, give you some pointers. I also offer courses as well. So meditation. Next is the opportunity. Spirit says, when your eyes are wide open, opportunities never thought possible will manifest. So how perfect is this for our discussion just 10 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, right? Open your eyes to possibility. Opportunities you never thought possible will manifest. The universe has your back. Yes, I know that's a book, but it's true. It's cliche, and it's true. Next is rejuvenation. During this quiet time, this manifesting, this opening your mind's eye, Spirit will spark a desire to experience more greatness, more expansiveness in your life, right? So it's trying to connect deeper with you, to heal and rejuvenate your energy, your mindset, your perception of possibilities right now. So allow that, open, be expansive for that. The last card is sanctuary. There's a space of regeneration that allows you during this quiet time, during this meditation, these quiet months, maybe some automatic writing, any of that. Take sanctuary. Your heart will heal. It will become, and I always say this, more expansive. And every time I say that, I kind of have my hands and I kind of open up my chest area, just above my body, just kind of do that hand movement where I take it from touching together to pulling out to opening that heart center. This is a time of quiet, but not a still quiet. This is a quiet, introspective, beautiful, self-nurturing time that Spirit wants to spend with you. So if there's a good book, a spiritual book you've been interested in, maybe a deck of cards, oracle or tarot, you've been interested in connecting with more, maybe it's your crystals, maybe it's your pendulum, maybe it's the angelic realm. This is a fantastic time to start connecting with your angels, learning the 4 quarter angels, who they are, how they can secure and protect your space before you do magic. Again, there's a lot more on the website about that, but some of you may not have thought about the angels and how they work in a magical aspect. So meditation, new opportunities, rejuvenate, sanctuary time, quiet time. This is the energy going into 2023. And let me tell you, there is nothing negative about this. This sounds cozy and yummy and magical. And I'm all about it. I'm loving it. It does also very much speak to everything that we just talked about, which always makes me giggle. And it happens every time I, pull cards for a client who has also had like a soul coaching class. And every time it confirms what we've just talked about. And it makes me giggle every time. It's confirmation, guys. So we love that. All right. I think that my voice is about had it, but I just could not wait to touch base with you guys. Gosh, it's been so long. I believe possibly next week, if not next week, definitely the week after, there'll be a new podcast. I believe I'll be going on Stephanie's podcast, Discontinued Now What? She's been on this podcast quite a bit. And I don't know. I'm very excited about 2023. Very excited about the new stuff. Let's see what's going on in the Mystic and Lightworker world. Okay, so the Lightworker Path we have, and that is the business website for services and other things. There will be something new launching by the end of January, so keep an eye out for that. I invite you to hop over to lightworkerpath.com. There's a tab up there that says meditation. Grab that free meditation there. That is kind of like a Swiss Army knife type of meditation. You can use that to just perform your sitting in space or sitting with spirit, your quiet time. It's a 20-minute meditation. It takes you kind of deep into things. You can also use it to contact your angels or guides. So you can use it for anything, for a restorative nature, to go out and seek answers, to ask the guides to work on your energy and chakra system. So it's a great free meditation. So guys, hop over there, lightworkerpath.com, click the meditation button, and you fill out a little thing, get the meditation, start using it. I'd love to hear feedback on how it expands, what you encounter when you listen to it. It's something I use with my students, amongst other ones. They seem to like that one quite a bit. So it's free. Go grab it. With that said, there will be an announcement, very likely by the end of January, on something kind of exciting and new that will be launching. Spoilers, it's going to be a certification. So if you guys are interested in some of the things that I do, you may want to get on the email list and or follow us on Facebook, LightworkerPath page, or Instagram, LightworkerPath FL. And keep an eye out because this is going to be kind of fun. I'm pretty excited. Also, in the Mystic Mind community, if you haven't joined our community, hop over there. It's literally $1 a month just to be in the community. That's not much, right? $1 a month. No big deal. And we can share with each other. There's different boards, or you may call them rooms. I like to call them rooms for, to mentally understand kind of how they're set up for crystals, tarot, magical herbs, angels, you name it. Anything that I could think of in the magical world, there are different rooms with different discussions and some resources in there. I'm constantly working on putting in new resources in these areas. There's also the Mystic Mind Mentorship Circle, which is a little bit more per month, but you get, I do lives and videos and we talk and you go through a program, and every week you're drip fed basically, or emailed or notified, depends on what settings you have set up, new courses, and it kind of takes you through a 13 plus month guided spiritual journey. They're prompts, it's for accountability to keep you on your path. There's new learning material. There is let's see, there are right now, I think there's some videos and some audios, lectures, and things like that in there. But basically, it takes you through. You can go to lightworkerpath.com, hit the mentorships button, read all about it. But hey, why not start the year off with a promise to yourself to grow your spirituality, to connect in a deeper level, to learn some new things, but more importantly, stay active in it. This is how you can do it. Join the mentorship circle, join me there and my friends, and let's connect. Let's make this happen. I'd love to work with you, and have you on the group calls, the meditation circles. Gosh, there's so many different things that are planned for 2023 in that. So lightworkerpath.com, mentorship button at the top there. It'll take you to a page that explains everything there. If you have any questions at all, please do contact me. I'd love to work with you. I'd love to have you part of the circle. The circle is growing this year. It was launched last fall, and I'm super excited about all the content that's going to be going into it for 2023, guiding you along your journey, your spiritual path, and having fun doing it, making some new connections with others in the circle. It's going to be good. So with that said, I wish you all a happy New Year's and New Year's Day, and stay magical. Till next time.